Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Peter Koo from Informatica. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us here today live. And I would say in New York City, but not this week, but here in the Bay Area, we welcome everyone. And this webinar is titled Modern Data Management in the Era of Artificial Intelligence in the Financial Services Industry. Again, I'm the Chief Strategist for Informatica's Financial Services, Banking, and Capital Markets vertical. Joining me today, I've got the pleasure to introduce Gaurav Pathak. Gaurav is our Vice President of Product Management. Hey, Gaurav, how are you? I know we've all been traveling, and welcome back from your trip there today. For those of you that are on the Elite Studio application or this console here, you'll see some menu options there. You are muted, but you'll have an opportunity to submit your questions here online. And with the time remaining today, we'll get through as much of your questions as possible. The agenda today, I want to make sure that everyone sees that as well. So we're going to go through, I'm going to kind of talk about some of the advancements, the trends, the conversations that we're hearing that we're involved in with regard to generative AI, machine learning, large language models, NLP, or natural language processing investments across the financial services industry. What's driving the need, where the interest is coming from. I also want to talk to you guys about what Informatica is seeing in terms of what does it really take to support these investments so that we avoid AI hallucination, we avoid not getting the returns out of the investments that companies are making with regard to AI, machine learning, and NLP. And then I'm going to switch it over to Gaurav, who's going to walk us through what AI is for Informatica and what we're doing with what we call Claire, and more to come on that, and how we're actually leveraging this inside of the Intelligent Data Management platform. And Gaurav is actually going to walk us through a demonstration of what we're talking about there. So why don't we get started? So here's the thing. I think no one these days, whether you're at an event, a webinar, or in internal meetings, it seems like everyone is talking about artificial intelligence. And for those of you that are involved in these areas and innovations, we all know AI, machine learning, has been around for a while, right? The question is, what is the state of AI in the industry today, as well as what are some of the expectations going into the new year and beyond? There's a great survey that was done by Accenture around the July timeframe of 2023. And I just want to highlight some of the facts here that were called out, right? 98% of the global executives agree AI foundation models will play an important role in their organization strategies in the next 3 to 5 years. 40% of all working hours can be impacted by large language models like GPT-4. 63% of large language models will impact every category of our business, from front, middle, back office, ranging from 9% of a workday at the low end to 63% at the high end, right? 42% of companies want to make a large investment in ChatGPT in 2023 alone, and we hear that all over the place. Obviously, companies that are in this space, that are dependent on these technologies, are benefiting, but also really looking forward to the things that AI is going to help them do. Now, the question is, how do we quantify the value of generative AI in the banking industry alone, right? There was an article done by Banker where they quoted a McKinsey study that was also done around the mid-time of 23, right? Banks in the wider financial services sector are poised to benefit from savings arising from Gen AI to the tune of 200 billion to 340 billion annually. That's annually. You think about the compounding benefit factor there. These are some really, really big dollars that organizations are looking to realize in terms of value. So what are companies actually going to be doing? And what are they already doing with AI? We know of organizations that are leveraging artificial intelligence and capturing and modeling and analyzing all of that great data to determine not just who should get the best offer, but what products and services can be custom tailored to your clients and prospective clients in order to win new business as well as grow wallet share. Very, very different from the days of identifying what happened, why did it happen, and more importantly, of course, what will happen. But with AI, as well as with machine learning, and the technologies we're talking about here today, what it gives you the opportunity to do is to determine what do you actually want to happen in order to grow revenue and expand wallet share with your clients. We know that AI, machine learning, is really, really important in combating fraud, whether it's insider fraud, obviously payment in the insurance industry, claims fraud, and of course, in the areas of risk management. We're no longer just dealing with the traditional categories of operational credit and market risk, but we've seen the importance of really understanding what are the forces that will determine exposures around liquidity risk that we've seen earlier this year with organizations like Silicon Valley Bank and others. And of course, we've got geopolitical and climate risk factors to take into account for. And believe it or not, folks, a lot of these traditional as well as these heightened risk categories are all interrelated. So how do you determine what appropriate actions to take in order to potentially cover your exposures? These are all the things that organizations are focused on. And the priorities of the financial services industry have not changed. It's all about improving customer experience, growing your business, complying with the plethora of regulations, strengthening risk management, of course, increasing the ability to respond to time-sensitive threats and opportunities. These priorities, whether you're in banking, capital markets, or in the P&C life reinsurance sector, haven't changed since the beginning and the dawn of this industry. What has changed, however, over the years is that the investments companies are making to achieve business success have varied, right? We've seen organizations modernize legacy technical capabilities by adopting cloud solutions coming from the software as a service provider community, infrastructure, as well as platform as a service companies out there, your hyperscalers of the AWSs, the Microsofts of the world, the Googles and the Oracles. We've seen the digital transformation journey going and expanding and continuing to evolve across financial services. And of course, data governance, data meshes versus fabrics. I won't admit how long I've been in this industry. We used to talk about data marts versus warehouses. There's a lot of modern approaches in dealing and delivering the insights that business needs. And of course, we're talking about AI here today. But one thing is clear, and one thing that everyone understands is that none of these investments that you're making in the short term, midterm, long term to support your business priorities can be successful unless you have data that is fit for business use, data that's transparent so that everyone understands where it comes from, what's the lineage of it from creation to consumption, that the data is accessible across systems and applications, both on-premise, to the cloud, and across multiple clouds. And then it's not just data that needs to be accessible, but business processes, applications are also connected so that you support the critical tasks that your business depends on to survive. Data has to be clean. It has to be valid identifiers of who your legal entities are, valid information about who your customers and extended household members are, and being able to ensure that you have data that's properly governed so that the policies and the standards are understood by everyone. And that understanding improves data literacy for each and every business user, whether they've been with the company for 3 years, 30 years, or 30 days. And that's really important for companies to really understand why it's important to have fit for business use data, because the challenges that exist with data today across banking, financial services, and insurance have been around for a long time. Despite all the investments that companies have made in people, process, and tools over the years, organizations still lack the ability to access the data that they need. They're still dealing with a lot of structures and formats and volumes, greater and more complex than ever before. You got data quality errors that continue to plague business performance. Transparency, as we talked about, too many sources of the truth because financial services operates in traditional silos. You have invalid and conflicting reference data. Data governance practices that are fragmented and quite honestly, very labor intensive. And at the end of the day, we've got a lot of sensitive data that's being created, consumed, and shared across multiple platform systems and ecosystems, both again, on premise and across multiple clouds. So when we think about what it means to us today, when we talk about AI and the adoption and the interest in AI, everyone seems to be ready for it, not just in financial services. The question is your data ready for it? And that's the conversation that we're going to have. So what does it actually take to succeed? Well, we believe that success is highly dependent on having a modern data architecture, a data architecture that ensures that your data is fit for business use. And I'm going to come back to this architecture or this reference architecture diagram, which is a picture of the Informatica Intelligent Data Management Cloud, which helps make your data transparent, accessible, connected, clean, valid, governed, and understood by the services that we make available through our cloud platform, from data cataloging, data integration, app and API integration, data quality management, master data management, data governance and privacy management, and of course, our data marketplace. Powered by CLAIRE, which we're going to talk about more, and being able to connect to both the systems, the data, and the metadata that Informatica has been establishing and supporting and developing for over 30 years. So what does then a modern data architecture look like? All right, number one, you have to have an architecture that's independent, neutral, hybrid, and supports multi-cloud. That is open, modular, and flexible, that it supports the various systems, whether they're 30 years old, 3 days old, 3 years old, to ensure that it works with what you have, that the capabilities that you require from a data management and governance perspective is complete, and best of breed. You don't want to settle on good enough, that it's secure, and it has the ability to run on elastic and serverless technologies, that you don't have to rely on human beings to continue to code away in environments where technology can really do it for themselves, right? And this is where Informatica sees the world really evolving. Number one, the legacy data warehouses, we see this migration, and we've seen it happen for some years now, but the acceleration from on-premise data warehouses, the enterprise data warehouses companies have built their businesses on for the last 20, 30 years, believe it or not, and moving over to platforms like Snowflake, Databricks, Azure Synapse, right? S3, Redshift, Google Cloud, Google Analytics, all the platforms in the cloud make sense because of all the benefits that cloud computing provides. But you need the ability for a platform, a modern data architecture, to be able to handle all styles of data movement, migration, and integration, whether they're ETL processes, ELT processes, and being able to support all of the platforms that organizations are adopting. You have to have an architecture that can extrapolate reference and master data of your clients, your legal entities, your products, reference code tables that may be created in standalone systems, but are required to be shared across other systems. And you can only do that with a master data management approach. And this is important to ensure that you have those categories of business reference data that other systems and applications can leverage, both in an analytical, but also in an operational setting. And then you have data cataloging, data quality management, and data governance. And we drill into the details of this. We're talking about not just cataloging from a technical lineage perspective, but also being able to support the business lineage view, so that if a regulator knocks on your door and says, hey, what data did you use in your report submission and where did it come from, you have the ability to then quickly provide an answer. If they really want to understand how do you convert 1, 2, and 3 into gold, silver, and bronze, for example, for customer tier data, you have the ability to do that as well. Data quality and observability. This is all about ensuring that business has confidence in the data that they're using today, that they are relying on to do their jobs, whether it's to improve customer experience, to facilitate effective client onboarding, or really to be able to understand who are the clients that do the most business across multiple lines of business. You want to be able to determine what's wrong with your data today, can I trust it, and if there's something wrong, how can I ensure that I can fix it properly, that it remains of high quality. And then data governance and privacy. These are areas where we've seen too many bodies thrown at the problem. And in today's world, it's all about ensuring that you can operationalize, scale, and remove the friction caused by labor-intensive processes around data stewardship and governance. And of course, then you have to integrate to the various systems and applications that run your business. You need the ability to then support other data tools, whether they're business intelligence, self-service analytics, data mining solutions, in order to support what the business is looking to do. And then finally, making all of that information, the knowledge about your data, available to not just a finite number of data professionals, but literally to each and every business user that might have questions about what data do we have? How should we use it? When should we use it? How should we not use it? And more importantly, who can I go to if I have questions? If I need access to that data, I want to be able to access it directly myself. What Informatica has been doing is aligning to this modern data architecture, that we now have capabilities that addresses each and every one of these major layers and components with the Informatica Intelligent Data Management Cloud. And what we've been doing, this is where we are today, 30 years of development of providing standalone best-of-breed solutions in each of these areas, whether it was data integration or data warehousing or data quality management. These are all now services of the platform, powered by Claire, and leveraging our connectivity to pretty much any system application or provider of data that exists to mankind. And that, again, creates our ability to provide a modern cloud platform to support the modern data architecture. So let's drill into more of this, and I want to hand it over to my colleague, Gaurav. There you are.
Thanks, Peter.
All right, the floor is yours. Thank you.
So hello, everyone. We'll look at, today we'll talk about Claire GPT, what we are doing with it. I'll quickly advance the slides. Peter, I'm stuck on the Intelligent Data Management Cloud slides, not able to move. If you are able to move it or you're able to see the screens, please let me know.
Sure thing. 1 second. All right. You guys see it?
Okay, so I'm assuming everybody's seeing the Claire Vision slide right now. So we'll talk about Informatica Claire and then our vision for how we think about AI for data management. Like Peter described, Informatica is in the business of comprehensive data management, data cataloging, integration, API, app integration, quality, marketplace, all of these components delivered in the only industry data management platform. Now, underlying all of this is Claire, which is not a product. It is an AI engine that uses metadata that we collect for your organization to make your data engineers more productive, to make your data analysts being able to discover the right data assets, and your business users being able to work with these data assets whenever they need it. So our vision is AI for data management. There are a lot of use cases for AI, whether it is fraud analysis, image generation, churn analysis. There are more of them now that large language models are out, but we are focused fully on data management. That's the area that we look at. Our strategy is to leverage all the new innovations in AI, including large language models, and bring those capabilities within your organizations using the metadata that we have captured for you as well. So I think there are still people who can only see the IDMC slide. Peter, if you could advance the slides to the AI-powered data management slide number 30.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Can somebody confirm that you're seeing the Claire AI-powered data management slide? I'm going to assume that you are. So there are three key pillars to our strategy. Number one is we have the Claire Copilot. Claire Copilot is about bringing in AI capabilities within each of our products, whether it is data cataloging, data integration, data quality, governance, privacy, all of it. I still see that the slides are not working very well. Let me try once more and then see if...
Yeah, Gaurav, I think there's some issues with the slide advance, so let's just continue.
Sure. So I'll talk through it and then hopefully be able to get this in order. I apologize. So we have a three-pillar strategy for AI-powered data management. In the center, we have this metadata knowledge graph. As you start working with Informatica products, we don't want you to start with the entire platform. you may have a cloud data integration use case or a data quality use case or a data cataloging use case. As you start working with those products, we are able to we start understanding about your metadata. You bring in Salesforce objects, CRM data moving into Snowflake. We now understand you have Salesforce, you have Snowflake. These are the table structures. We start capturing all of this metadata in a metadata knowledge graph specific to your organization. This metadata is not shared with anyone else. This metadata is used only to make your experience with our data management products better. Now, think of each of these nodes in the graph as tables, views, files, reports, all the technical metadata assets that we find. We also have business metadata here, your glossaries, policies, processes that apply to these data assets. And we connect each of these data assets depending on how they are connected in real life as well. So we look at databases, we find out what views are connected to what tables, and then we create those links. And in some cases, we actually use AI to be able to generate these relationships as well. So if your Snowflake data warehouse, for example, does not know about a possible join between those two tables, we look at the metadata, we look at the data patterns, and we are able to say, okay, these two tables look like they're joinable based on these keys, and we connect those data assets together as well. And that allows us to activate the metadata to provide all of the different AI capabilities that are available. So we'll start with CLAIRE Copilot. CLAIRE Copilot, Informatica has been into AI for data management since 2018, long before AI was cool or as cool as it is today. We have been working on a lot of new capabilities within our cloud data management products, bringing in savings to large enterprises as well as productivity benefits across data teams as well. So whether it is automation of data cataloging, where we automate the data element classification, entity classification, schema matching, relationship discovery, we are using AI based on your metadata, trying to put the right labels on data assets as they come into your catalog, so that it's easy for your business users to find the right data assets, govern those right data assets, relate those data assets as well. We've automated data governance with capabilities like intelligent glossary associations, DQ rule applications, and CLAIRE activity dashboards. We'll show you some of these capabilities today. One of the main capabilities in our cloud data governance and catalog products is glossary association capability. One of the most tedious tasks in any data cataloging implementation is that you have all these technical assets, you have this business glossaries, and the twain shall not match. So you have to do a manual job of looking at those business glossary terms and then try to associate them by hand. It takes months and months, even if you have an army of data stewards doing that. And we, way back in 2019, developed an algorithm that looked at these glossaries, their characteristics, descriptions, and then looked at technical data assets and automatically mapped them to the right ones as well. We've done that at very, very large scales, millions of columns at a very, very high precision, saving organizations, again, a large amount of money and a large amount of time as well. We have capabilities to automate data qualities, where we generate data quality insights. Every time a data profile job is run, we look at what are the things that a human might miss because there is just too much information coming in from profiling results, and we are able to bring that up in an easy to understand table that users can see, and then decide which of these data quality problems that they want to go after. And then we have capabilities within automation, within data engineering. We have next transformation recommendation, intelligent structure discovery, and all of these different capabilities that are available. So overall, across all the different data management facets and services that we have developed over in the cloud, we have about 18, 20 CLAIRE capabilities that are available today. And I'm going to show you some of them today as we go through the demo. Before that, let me talk to you a little bit about Claire GPT. Claire GPT is our new natural language-based chat interface for data and data management. This is something that we announced at Informatica World of 2023, showing a demo of what we think this capability could be, being able to ask uh, ask the system in natural language where your important data assets are. If you are a data analyst trying to create a report, being able to ask the system, what data assets can I use for doing customer churn analysis, and then have the large language model go through your metadata knowledge graph, which is in the catalog, and figure out what are the right data assets that can be used here. Discovering data assets and data insights, find where your data assets are, either through keyword search or asking prescriptive questions that I described before. Whatever data science job you're doing, whatever data analysis job you're doing, being able to ask, this is the task that I want to do. Can Claire help me find the right data assets for it as well? And since large language models got announced, there have been a plethora of startups who have come out talking about, oh, we'll allow you to do natural language questions. You can ask natural language questions to data. But what we have realized as we've worked on Claire GPT is that it's easier said than done. It's easy when you are looking at, say, 5 tables or 10 tables, a very limited amount of data assets, which is not true for any of the enterprises that we have worked for. There, as you will know, there are hundreds of thousands of tables, ambiguously named, columns with redundant and similar names that are available, named by developers and available within OLTP and data warehouse systems. And from all of this, if you're able to ask the question, what was the customer churn for my product in Q3? You have to first understand, what does this product mean in the context of this organization? What does Q3 mean in the context of this organization? And after all of that is understood, being able to understand what exactly are the right tables to get to the answer to that question. And that's where all of our investments in the metadata and activation of metadata technologies will help. We look at understanding your glossaries, policies, processes, how they relate to technical data assets. That allows us to convert some of these natural language instructions to find out exactly the right data assets that you may be looking for. So let's look at some of these capabilities in action, and I'll show you how Claire Copilot exists today, and then show you Claire GPT in action as well. So let me first start sharing my screen. And hopefully everybody is able to see my shared screen right now. I'll start with the Cloud Data Marketplace. Now, Data Marketplace is one of our services available on Intelligent Data Management Cloud. It's Amazon for data assets for us, one place where your data consumers, business users can go to find out the most relevant data assets that they can trust and use for their analytics, data science needs, regular business insights needs as well. Now, these categories get set up according to your organization. So we open up the system to you on how you design these categories, subcategories, and hierarchies for your organization. So if you are a retail firm, the categories will be different compared to if you're a financial firm or an insurance firm. It's infinitely customizable. And then once that is done, you can see all the different data products that are available in these categories right here as users log into the data marketplace. When you're looking at any data products, you're able to see rich information, rich metadata information about who are the data owners to go to in case you have any questions, technical owners, business owners, data stewards, if those are available in your organization, along with the metadata that we have gathered about them. So this can be technical metadata, what tables, views, files, reports are part of this data product, data quality information that we automatically gather, and then we actually use AI to figure out as well, and business metadata like usage metadata. How much is this data asset used? How many orders have been done? How many orders have been fulfilled? And who are the consumers who are using these data sets? And that helps me trust this data asset so that I can then start using it and then start working on my particular need. Once I identify that this is the data asset that I want, I can check it out. I can provide the context around why I need that. And then a provisioning workflow starts to make this data product available to the end business user. This can be as simple as providing access within a data warehouse. So the workflow can do, give the data owner that alert, and data owner can provide those access outside of the system, or they can use our provisioning capabilities from cloud application integration to automate provisioning of these data assets wherever the user wants it. If they want it in a sandbox in S3, we have hundreds of connectors available to make that available as well. So how is all of this possible? How do we make this data marketplace, Amazon for data assets, possible for end users? And the answer to that is, for us, being able to collect rich metadata that we activate as it comes into the catalog here. Now, in Amazon, we have the Amazon Marketplace, but we also have these regional warehouses which have robots putting things in the right places, labeling things correctly, putting things in the right sized boxes, categorizing. There is a lot of things happening in the backend so that we can see all the good things on the Amazon market front as well. We do the same things with data assets in the catalog on the backend, with Claire being the bot that puts everything in the right place, categorizing everything correctly, finding out what data assets should go where. I'll show you some of the capabilities that we have made available within Claire to make this possible. So for example, I talked about glossary associations. Glossary associations are, you have business glossary terms. Those are created by data stewards. Your technical assets come into the catalog. We find out what are the possible matches between these business term and the technical data assets that are available by looking at descriptions, aliases, all the different attributes that are available for this business glossary, so that we can automatically relate this business glossary term to the right technical data assets. Now, being able to do that even for 10, 20, 100 tables is a hard job, having to do that manually. But having to do that for hundreds of thousands of data assets and data lakes, data warehouses, SAP systems, where things can be very eclectically named, being able to do that at that scale becomes very hard, and that's where AI makes it easier for doing all of these associations, as just by telling the system to automatically associate these glossaries as this information is coming into the catalog. Similarly, we have capabilities for data classification. Data classification capabilities allow us to classify data assets using rule-based capabilities, element classification, entity classification, where we can identify customers, employees, purchase orders, PII data sets available anywhere. And then we've also included new generated classification capabilities, which allow us to automatically, look at data assets as they are coming, and then associate the right unsupervised generated classification to a data asset as well. What that allows us to do is that when users are searching for any table or any data set within the catalog, they are able to see all this rich information. You can search with business terms. You can search with what business uses as terminology rather than all these technical jargon that's available within the technical data assets, because we have automatically done these associations, these glossaries and classifications, but that's not all. We have also, we do profiling of these data assets to find null, distinct, non-distinct counts, data types, inferred data types. All of these things are being done by Claire as this information is coming into the system. So I can look at any column like sales amount. Here you can see all the inferred data types. Again, Claire working, looking at the different patterns that are coming in and then figuring out what kind of data type it will be, regardless of what is the documented data type for this particular element. And also if you have the right permissions, being able to see these value frequency information. Along with profiling, glossary associations, classifications, we also capture data lineage for the system as well. And this data lineage is captured end to end from multiple different systems, whether you are on AWS, whether you're on Azure, whether you are on Snowflake, whether you're on Google. We have out-of-the-box scanners that look at how this data is moving end to end from an OLTP system into the data lake, into the data warehouse, all the way into a reporting tool. And all of that is done automatically without having to do any manual jobs to do this kind of visualization, enterprise end-to-end visualization of lineage. We've invested a lot in making this capability robust. We acquired a company called Compact BI in 2020, who have deep scanners that not only bring in metadata from these databases, but they parse stored procedures. So if you have stored procedures, let's say in Snowflake, we parse these stored procedures. We say, how this data assets are moving, in what line in the stored procedure this data asset moves from Snowflake into Tableau, and what views connect to what tables, again, by parsing SQL, but not only SQL, we can parse Python code in Databricks notebooks, we can parse mainframe code, we can parse statistical code. So being able to look at all of that and extracting this data lineage is one of the key USPs of Informatica. And of course, we can, if you have cloud data integration mappings, those are automatically parsed, and then you are able to see this end-to-end data lineage, not only at a data set level. You can do it at a data element level. You can decide which particular data element you're interested in and get data lineage for it. And not only just the data lineage for that particular element, you can actually also overlay business stats on top of that to figure out how certain things are changing for that particular element as well. So for example, you can go here and say, I want to see how data quality, overall data quality changes as this credit card data type moves end to end. So once you do that, you are able to see information like, credit card type was 93%. Sorry, in fact, online sales was 93%, but by the time it came into this view, the overall score became 74%, and you can decide exactly what went wrong, what transformations you got changed for something like this. And of course, you can see transformation logic, you can see business policies, processes, glossary terms, all overlaid over this. And if you want to see like calculations, transformations, you can see that as well. So very comprehensive data lineage capabilities available across all key ecosystems. Again, one of the things that Peter highlighted in his section is independent and neutral. When we look at metadata of different systems, we are not looking at metadata for just Amazon or just Microsoft or just Google or just Snowflake. We are looking at all of it equally, just like we look at metadata from Informatica. So our goal is to be the catalog of catalogs, extracting this metadata, creating this metadata knowledge graph. Wherever we are able to find this, like by our scanners, we are able to parse the SQL code and figure out, okay, these views are connected to these tables. But we also use AI and Claire to figure out, this table does contain PII information. This table is joinable to something else because our AI system has done relationship discovery as this information comes in. We figure out, looking at those profiling stats that I was showing you, how the metadata matches, how the data patterns match, and suggesting these joinable relationships within this metadata knowledge graph as well. The final CLAIRE Copilot capability I will show you is the data quality capability. And then this capability, again, uses some of the underlying metadata knowledge graph, and it uses the business glossary association capability to automatically create data quality rules for your key data elements. Now, every data quality rule that you see here, which has an auto in front of it, was created by CLAIRE. The way that works is that if you've created a data quality rule for a particular element, we look at what is the business glossary that's associated to it. And every time our business glossary association systems find another unit cost or another first name, we take this data quality rule, we create another instance of it within, wherever we have found this first name again, or wherever we have found this unit cost again, and we run that data quality rule directly. So that way, again, large amount of work that's needed to take individual data quality rules, keep associating them to every instance of it in data lakes, data warehouses, OLTP system, all of that goes away. With CLAIRE, you create the data quality rule once, and we then find instances of that concept and are able to then run those data quality rules, find, based on how you decide to run it, how many times you want to run it, and then see the data quality scores for that as well. So depending on what kind of rule it is, you can see how many times it has run. You can actually see the trends as well of how this is changing. All of that is done within the catalog, very much integrated with cloud data quality. And again, automating one of the most, it's a tedious task of creating data quality rules for individual data elements. I showed you 3 CLAIRE Copilot capabilities. There are about 15 more. They are in data quality insights. There is automatic data quality rule creation using natural language. We have them in MDM, where you can automatically do entity matching over millions of rows, where you train an AI model using your data. Again, it's only your data, your model. You train that model, and once that model is ready, you apply that to all the different rows of customer data, product data, supplier data that you may have, and deduplicate it. And we have AI in data integration, auto-mapping, being able to take sources and auto-map them to master data management targets, next transformation recommendations, intelligent structure discovery. There are a lot more of these capabilities that if you are an Informatica IDMC customer, should definitely check out within each of these products. The reason I'm not showing you all of those capabilities is because I also want to show you CLAIRE GPT. Now, CLAIRE GPT is a large language model sitting in front of that metadata knowledge graph that I described. This metadata knowledge graph is unique to your organization. It understands your technical, business, operational usage metadata in one single structure. And with CLAIRE GPT, our goal is to be able to then allow your users, whether they're business users who are trying to find where the right data assets are, to be able to interact with your data ecosystems using natural language. And again, our goal is for them to be able to come to the system and say, where is my customer churn report? Who is the data owner? How can I get access to it? For a lot of business users, that's how they interact with data. There will be some power users who may want to then actually figure out what data assets are used in that report, and how can I actually ask questions of that data asset directly as well. And then your data teams, your data engineers who are creating new data pipelines, how can they create first drafts of your data pipelines using nothing but natural language? Remember, I talked about those startups who have started that. Many of them, I counted about 200 of them in February of this year. So I'm sure there are 10x those number of startups now in this industry. But the key differentiation that Informatica brings in is that understanding of your data ecosystem. So that when you say, what was my sales amount for this product, we understand what sales amount means. When you say product X in your parlance, in your business terminology, because we understand your business terms, policies, processes, we understand what data asset you are trying to refer to. So that is the capability we'll continue on honing. It's a very hard problem, being able to understand your end-to-end acronyms that you use within an organization. What does quarter three mean to you, etc. But that's the area that we are focused on, being able to look at your entire data ecosystem and make that information available through a system as easy as natural language. So we looked at this particular table over here. I'm going to go back to data set level analysis. In this case, there was this sales KPI report that was getting used in front of this fact table, all these views, and a lot of tables before that. What I can now ask the system to do is ask it to tell me about that sales KPI dashboard using natural language. And since it's connected to that underlying metadata knowledge graph, it converts my query to a graph metadata query, sends it into the system, and brings in a natural language response for it as well. You can start asking questions like, show me data assets that feed into sales KPI dashboard. And the system should understand that this is a data lineage query. It will convert that complicated lineage into something that a business user can understand. And it also converts it into text so that you can understand how exactly data moves from end systems into this sales KPI report. Now, our goal is not to bring in the exact user experience of data lineage within CLAIRE GPT. This Cloud Data Governance and Catalog already has a very good and comprehensive data lineage system that does the job. But what we want to do with CLAIRE GPT is that allow users to ask exactly the right task that they want to do. Like in data lineage, there are multiple use cases. Some of them are change management or impact analysis. I'm going to change a column in this CSV file. What are the reports that are going to get impacted? We want users to be able to ask that question directly in CLAIRE GPT and say, this column I'm changing, who are the people who are going to get impacted? What reports? Give me that information in a table so that I can go ahead and do my give the heads up to those people. Generally, in an enterprise, these things happen. You change the system. 3 months later, some reports break, and then you figure out what actually happened, and that's how impact analysis is done. There is other way where you want to looking at a particular report, and a particular metric does not look right, and you want to ask the question: this metric is not looking right in the report. What were the data transformations that were changed in the last 2 weeks? So those are the kind of user experiences that will become possible in CLAIRE GPT. It also understands multi-turn conversations. So it will keep the context from before. So when I say find related sales data, it understands that you're looking for sales data from within that data lineage diagram that we were showing. And then you can start doing metadata exploration, data exploration for that particular data asset as well. So here I'm looking at a raw consumer website in the data lake. There are multiple fields, the data quality reports, all of those come in here within CLAIRE GPT. And you can actually go to Cloud Data Governance and Catalog and see this information in more detail there. Goal for CLAIRE GPT is to be a user experience that's built on IDMC, not a disconnected product. It's a user experience that allows you to do this natural language interaction across all the different capabilities that we have in IDMC already, orchestrating it like a symphony. Every time you ask a cataloging question, convert that into a catalog question. Every time you ask a data quality question, you convert that into a data quality query. You can ask questions like, show me sample data in this particular data set. One of the things that we want to do, like I said, within CLAIRE GPT is allowing users to ask business questions as well. I'll unfortunately not be able to show you that capability because that is currently not in preview. But our goal is for you to be able to ask, who are my top customers in quarter 3 for a product X, and then being able to go to tables or multiple tables and then get those answers back. You don't actually need to do all of this metadata stuff that I did before. You can actually come to Claire GPT and start that as your first question, and then we figure out what data assets are available. In case we are confused, we ask this user, okay, is this the right question that you were looking for? Are these the right data assets? So being able to explore the data assets, if you have the right permissions, to be able to then get answers to it as well. And then finally, being able to also, for our data team members in IT who want to create mappings, we want them to be able to come to Claire GPT and say, create a mapping from enriched sales data to Snowflake. We will only support ELT mappings in the first version. ELT mappings are, we've already staged the data in Snowflake or any other data warehouse, Redshift, Synapse, Google BigQuery, Oracle, being able to then convert that into exactly the table that you're looking for. We use other Claire capabilities in the middle to be able to do that. We don't think that the natural language system is capable to be able to create a perfect pipeline exactly like you need, given where the technology is right now. But we think that it enables you to create a good first draft of that pipeline using natural language. Because of our understanding of metadata and the data patterns, we suggest some of the things that you can automatically do. We look at, looks like credit cards are different, represented differently in the columns. So all of that metadata understanding and the data quality rules that we have get used, and those are converted into different things. Right now, we convert them to SQL for ELT mappings, but our goal is to convert them to InfraCore and Python and other languages that you may be working in as first draft data pipelines that you can go either open in a data integration tool or work right here in the script to be able to change and exactly fine tune to what you are looking for. So what did I show you today? I showed you some of the Claire Copilot capabilities on a very strong metadata foundation, a metadata foundation that links data assets across the organization, whether they are in OLTP systems, whether AWS, Azure, Power BI, Synapse, Snowflake, Redshift, any ecosystem. I showed you some of the AI capabilities like business glossary associations, data element classifications, entity classification, generated classifications, and glossary associations. I showed you data quality rules that were generated with AI automatically. And then I showed you some of the Claire GPT capabilities that we are working on. That is what we think of how AI can help data management in your organizations. For your teams who get requests every day from your business users who are trying to figure out what are the right data assets where they're available, all the good things that you're doing within IT to be able to then have business see the value of it. Imagine something like this with your business users, being able to ask these questions, get answers to those questions, right? And do that in a governed, secure way as well. So that really is where Informatica wants to go with the system. We're now in the third generation of AI-powered data management. We started with metadata discovery and creating the metadata graph, did data management automation. Now our goal is to use natural language, bring all the new capabilities that large language models are capable of, and make it available to you as our users and customers. And doing all of that in an ethical manner. Our customers are Fortune 500 customers like yourselves, Fortune 50, Fortune 100, Fortune 500. We cannot be willy-nilly with your data and metadata, sharing it with third-party systems. Those are things that we take very seriously, making sure that that we only use your metadata for your capabilities, never use your metadata for training CLAIRE without your consent. That is one of the key principles that we have, among others, that we do for CLAIRE development. So I'll pause now.
Yeah, Gaurav, we got to, hey, by the way, thank you again for running through that with us. A lot of information, folks. For those of you that are on and want to continue the conversation with us, why don't you reach out to me directly at pku@informatica.com, and we'll follow up with you with the appropriate team members. There are some questions that are coming through. Richard Bilkington, hey Rich, good to see you on the webinar here. Question is, it's an excellent tech that nicely complements IDMC's broad capabilities, but it predominantly focuses on the data producer/steward, which tend to be a smaller, more intimate community. To gain true adoption and build a true consumer-based data community, we need the search feature that enhances the data marketplace, which still has somewhat limited features currently. Any comments on that, Gaurav, in terms of really using this to extend the broader consumption of all the great insights for the masses?
Absolutely. And hi, Rich. Good to see you in this webinar as well. On Data Marketplace, our goal is to continually expand on that service. I know there are a few asks around how only the right people are able to even have granular control over permissions of what's available within Data Marketplace. Those are some of the things that we are looking at, including CLAIRE GPT being able to access Data Marketplace assets and then being able to get to those as well. Our goal is not just do data producers and data stewards. We have a strong data consumer based innovations built into CLAIRE GPT. For them to be able to ask those data questions right within CLAIRE GPT, those will be available in preview starting January. And I look forward to working with you, Rich, on making that available with Point72 data.
Right. There's one more question here. If the column names are different for the same attribute in two data systems, will the AI capability profile the data across both to help predict the joinability aspect that we talked about?
Exactly. Yes, we do. That's the names of the columns and metadata associated with it is just one of the inputs that goes into the AI model. The profiling stats are another, especially the overlap of unique elements within those columns. Those are some of the indicators that we use to predict joinability. That's available to us.
Well, folks, if you have any other questions, again, feel free to submit them through the platform here, or again, you can email us directly. Again, my email is pku@informatica.com. Hey, Gaurav, I want to thank you, and again, thank everyone for taking time out of their busy schedules and joining us today. Look, folks, I think the question, the final comments here is this. This is actually Informatica's 30th year of being in business. And I joined Informatica 16 years ago, and I remember we were so proud that we were the leader in data integration. We were just getting started with data quality, and we acquired a little company by the name of Cyperion for MDM. But it was mainly on-premise software, technology to help the data professional do their tasks faster, better, and hopefully cheaper, right, over the long run. And where we are today is really advancing the practice of data management and data governance, not just making it operational, but making it intelligent with all the capabilities that AI and LLM is really providing society as a whole. And we'll continue to invest, we'll continue to modernize, and we'll continue to lead the respective markets that we compete in. So with that said, I want to thank again everyone. This will be obviously recorded. Expect a follow-up email from all of us, just thanking you for your time with links to the recording. And Gaurav, thanks again for making it today. Obviously, we know how busy you are as well. So thank you again, everyone. Take care.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks, everyone. Bye.